Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about how to escape the matrix. But firstly, what is the matrix? When we refer to living in the matrix in real life, we're often referring to the idea that our reality may not be as real as we think it is. So if we look at this a bit deeper, living in the matrix could also refer to the idea that we are controlled by outside forces such as social norms, propaganda and media that limit our perceptions and actions. And in this sense, living in the matrix means being trapped in a false or limited reality that prevents us from experiencing true freedom and understanding. And often it feels like that, right? Because sometimes we may feel limited, not because we are truly limited, but because our perception is limited, which means that we're lacking the right knowledge. And when it comes to knowledge, it comes to questioning, like, why we are not being taught, like, how to think, right? How to think with our own minds, or how to think with our own heads. And that makes us questioning, like, is this system really designed to be free? Or is this designed to make us behave the way that is beneficial for it, right? So how to escape this system and design healthier one? Because we are not just escaping to some old way of functioning. We are changing our behaviors for the healthier ones, for us and for people around us, and that's what can liberate us, right? So the first thing is that we need to recognize why we are doing what we are doing at the first place. When we know our why, our life will completely change, because we'll notice, oh, I'm behaving the way I'm behaving because I've been maybe taught to behave that way, or because I think it's cool, or because that's what I should do, right? Once we understand why we're doing something, the answer may bring us deeper to realization. Do we still want to act that same way? Because there's so much more to life if we learn to expand ourselves, right? When it comes to our health, or when it comes to our finances, everything we are experiencing is a byproduct of our choices. If our choices would be richer, our life would be richer, right? So how to make richer choices? Well, we need to have richer knowledge. Where to find richer knowledge? We can find it at people who are living rich lives, right? So we need to understand what rich life represents to us, so we can start studying the subjects and people who can enrich our understanding, and that's what will free us, right? The second thing that will help you to escape the matrix is to stop impulsive consuming and rather focus on your priorities and what can you offer. Because this is a huge shift. Like, it feels we're all kind of trained to impulsively just consume stuff, consume information, consume food that was brought to you through advertisements, right? And then we think it's healthy because it's written organic on and things like that. What is healthy is what nature provides in the current season. And if we look into ancient indigenous traditions, we'll notice what they were eating what nature provided at that current season, which makes us questioning a little bit how well we know nature, how well we know cycles of nature. And that's what brings us to an understanding. Well, we don't know much about nature, and not many people are teaching us how to live with nature. It doesn't mean to let go of everything and go living off the grid, but it means to study the nature, study the laws of nature, and recognize what it is teaching you. Because in the nature, everything is moving with with a certain current, with a certain flow. Everything is moving in rhythms and cycles. And once we understand that, we can much easier decide what's also good for us if we go with the cycles of nature. Like, for example, in wintertime. Wintertime is a time for rest. It's a time to be a bit slower. It's time for deep introspection, reflection on how we are living our lives. But of course, in this super fast-paced world, we may say, well, I don't have time for that. But that's what the Matrix taught you, that it's real. What's real is how nature is functioning, because nature is just a manifestation of how this cosmos is functioning. So we need to plug ourselves back to the flow of nature, and we need to slow down a little bit so we can start understanding that flow better. Stop compulsive consuming and rather focus, what can you give? What can you offer? Because the real escape is not an escape at all, but rather recreation of the system for the healthier ones, for the healthier one, which reminds us back of the quote of Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you wish to see, right? It's not about screaming, hey, people, wake up. It's about waking up and then providing what we found within, so we can be like a vessel of what we feel intuitively to be right. We become like an example of what we know to be true. And we know it intuitively, so it's not just an intellectual knowledge. It's an intuitive sensation that can only be experienced through our hearts. The third thing that will help you to escape this artificial system we call Matrix is to question everything, and find a deeper meaning to life. Because, like I mentioned, we don't know much about life. What I've learned back in 2017 when I've quitted my job, I've recognized that as soon as I've quitted my job, my childlike curiosity returned. A deep sense for creative expression returned. A deep sense for playfulness and adventure returned. So I was kind of wondering where it was all that time before, and I've noticed, well, I had no time for that. I had no time for researching that childlike curiosity. And it returned when I had more time for it once again. So we need to have time for that. If we're living so busy lives that we can't even take time for ourselves, it will be hard to discover why we've come here at the first place. And we are all here on a mission. We are all here on purpose. So we need to wake up back to this understanding that we are all here on a mission. And what is that mission? Where your life is calling you. Because when you're receiving those great empowering ideas, the universe is choosing you because you have the right skills, the right talents, the right possibilities to express it, to make something out of it. If you don't pick those ideas, the universe will choose somebody else. That's how it works. So honor yourself so much that you will choose to express what comes to you as an inspiring idea, as an empowering idea. That will help you to escape this system. The fourth thing that will help you is to practice mindfulness. When we start paying more attention to this present moment, it can help you to tune into your own inner voice and intuition, something I mentioned before. And for example, a regular meditation or mindfulness practice can help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions and develop a greater sense of self-awareness. Because if we don't become self-aware, we'll never recognize what's truly what's truly yours. Because if we're hanging a lot with other people, it may be sometimes a bit harder to recognize what are your emotions and what are emotions you've just kind of received from others, like emotional energy. What are your beliefs of life and what are beliefs of the society or the collective? To identify what is truly yours, so we can notice, does it still fit you? Like, are those beliefs still real for you? It's time to question them, right? Question everything. And a practice of mindfulness, if we stay consistent to any kind of a practice, we become better at it. And if we become a bit better at any kind of a practice of mindfulness, we'll become more present. And as we become more present, we become more self-aware. And as we become more self-aware, we acknowledge better what feels right, what resonates with us, and what's out of alignment with our core values, and what's out of alignment with our heart. Once we know that, we'll make different choices in life, and that will take us to a whole new level, right? So develop a self-awareness with mindfulness. Another thing that will make a huge change is as you start developing self-awareness, if you just start by becoming aware of the times when you tend to give your power away to others, and you ask yourself why you do this and what you're getting in return. Every time you start to give your power away to others, you ask yourself, why are you doing that at the first place, and what you get in return? This will help you to identify patterns and understand the underlying reasons for your behavior. Practice self-trust, for example. Like, build trust in yourself by setting and achieving some small goals, so you recognize how powerful you are. You can actually set something to do and you achieve it. As you become more confident in your abilities, you will be less likely to look to external authorities, for example, for validation or guidance. It will give you your power back, and you will notice, well, if you can make the small goals and achieve them, you can also create some bigger goals and achieve them as well. And maybe a part of your bigger goals may be to live a life of freedom, to live a life of creative expression, to live a life as an artist, to live a life as a passionate person who wants to help others, or whatever it is. As you set some bigger goals on that, and you ask yourself, well, what could be baby steps to get you to there, you will free yourself from those little limiting beliefs that are not allowing you to get there, right? So develop self-awareness around this. Another thing that will help you to get out of the matrix is to question your money mindset. Why is this important? Well, we need money, right? We need money to survive, to pay bills, to buy food, to buy clothes. But we don't need to be dependent just of one source of money. The universe has abundance for all of us. So we need to learn to tap into that universal abundance, and it starts with ideas. We are all artists here. We are all creators here, co-creators. And it starts with an educated mind. Once you recognize that each inspiring idea that comes to you can be transformed into something incredible that can also help you to make money with that. And once you understand that, you will stop ignoring them. So educate yourself. Educate yourself about personal finance and money management, because it's important. Because many people just think that having more money it's cool, right? And then they got some more money and they spend it. We need to learn how to manage money, because it's all just an energy. And we need to learn to invest it wisely. We need to learn to save it. We need to learn to take care of it. Because if it's an energy, like for example happiness can be maintained if we balance ourselves. The same as money can be maintained if we balance ourselves. If we look on everything like a vibrational flow, we need to feed it, we need to nurture it, right? So ask yourself how well you are nurturing your money. Are you just spending it? Are you scared because of it? Maybe because you don't have enough? Could you make more? Could you find a new way of income? Could you maybe just take care of your expenses more wisely? Think about it. There are many resources available, including like books, podcasts, and online courses that can teach us so much about how to nurture this energy. If we learn more about it, we can free ourselves from this constant cycle of receiving and spending. Because there's so much more to life than just being scared around it. Many people have this belief: money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy. And some are. And there's a reason we have this perception, because most probably our parents taught us that, but also we've seen many people who are like that. But it doesn't mean that it's a fact. It's just how they were. And we need to relearn many things so we can free ourselves. We need to relearn what is real. And we need to expand our knowledge and understanding on what truly can help us to make a better life. So write down your beliefs you have around it and question them. Because if you don't question your mindset, you will stay where you are. But when you expand your mindset, you will start to take new action. And every time we make some new decisions in life and we take some new action, we also create new results, right? And that's something powerful we can do. Not often we are reminded of that. Another thing that will help you is to be aware of all the negative information that are surrounding us right now. It feels like there's more and more and more and more information coming out, and that's real. So it doesn't mean to just ignore what's happening. It's great if we are informed, but we need to stay aware how much is enough, right? Because your brain can't just comprehend everything. You can't just consume everything. And then because of the algorithms, more you are kind of watching certain things, more of the similar information will start popping up, and it will feel for you like you can't stop watching it because there's so many interesting stuff, but at the end of the day, you feel like your mind will blow up. So be aware of that. That's why I said practice mindfulness, practice self-awareness, stay aware of yourself and remember who you are, stay deeply grounded. And know yourself. Know how much of information is actually helpful for your growth and expansion. But don't just be consumed by everything. Another thing that will help you to escape the matrix is also to choose your food carefully. We're living in a world where unhealthy food is promoted as healthy food, and healthy food is not promoted at all. So what's healthy is what's growing outside, but for many of us, if you're living in a big city, it's much harder to get that kind of a food. So search for local farmers. Let's make a greater flow in this area, because there's many local farmers who are actually nurturing and taking care of plants and providing all that we need. And sometimes if we just open our eyes a little bit and we pay more attention to how much the world is actually shifting also for the better. I've noticed in my area there's so much possibilities. I know when all of that started, people got in panic and the food prices started rising and things like that. But then I've noticed many farmers started providing more possibilities as well. More people started making their own gardens and things like that. So I've noticed also a positive shift that started to happen. So take care of the food. What kind of food you allow yourself to consume? Like some general tips. For example, eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, because fruits are great for our digestive system, right? Green vegetables are good for our vascular system. Root vegetables are good for our brain. And it provides us essential vitamins, minerals, and fiber, something we need. If you include some lean protein source and some carbohydrates and fiber, you will just feel much better. You will feel like your body is actually getting the right nutrition. And if you limit your intake of processed food and sugary foods, as they can contribute to chronic health problems, as we know, you will just start to feel much better. And then you stay hydrated by drinking water instead of anything else. You will feel like your body is functioning better, your energy will rise, and suddenly you will feel like what you've been doing for whole of your life. That will help you so much. Then another thing is knowledge. Read books that can open your eyes and learn about different ideas and worldviews. Because if we don't do that, if we don't open our minds, we'll stay limited. Expose yourself to new perspectives and information that can help you to break free from limiting beliefs and expand your understanding of the world. That's why I love reading. I love learning about all different topics. I love to expand myself because it just gives me an opportunity to try new things that I had no idea that they exist. Like, for example, right now, if we start studying a little bit biohacking and all those ideas and knowledge that's coming from new science about how powerful our brain is and how well we can actually heal our bodies with some alternative tools, we can recognize that we are so much less limited than we thought we are before. So, my friends, there's so much you can do. There's so much in your power, and you are such an incredible creator. If you take care of your mind, if you take care of your emotions, release, learn to let go, learn to forgive. Then if you take care of your daily habits, because habits are what makes us being caught in certain loops, right? And if we don't change our habits for the healthier ones, we just stay the same. So we need to take care of that as well. When we take care of that, we'll start to feel better. We will start to feel like we have more energy. And suddenly when we have more energy, we'll notice that we feel inspired to reach those new goals. We feel inspired to uplift others. We feel inspired to reach our greatest potential. And if we develop some mindfulness practices, some spiritual practices, we'll uplift all of ourselves. And that's how we notice that we are actually great. Because not often we hear that, right? So my friends, be great, stay magnificent. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. You're all truly appreciated. Till next time, one love.